Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coraima and I'm a pilot who loves makeup. In today's video, we will be doing a battle of the sponges. We've got my favorite, the Wet n Wild makeup sponge. I've talked about this before on my Instagram, but this little sucker is only $4, and it's comparable to the Beauty sponge. Now, I've been using this for a while. I also use the baby sponge as well. I just love this sponge and I'll always continue to use this. But I got my hands on some Sonia Kashuk sponges and I've heard these are pretty good. They're huge compared to the Wet n Wild sponges. Like, look at that. Y'all see that? These are wet too. So yeah, I got my hands on these. I never could find these at my local Target, but I found them and I snatched them, and they were only $3.50 because they were on sale, and I got 2 of them for $3.50. Score! So yeah, let's just get to the sponges. So what I like in a sponge is that it's squishy and easy to manipulate. I don't like hard sponges. They're just not good. This sponge is not as squishy and soft as the Wet n Wild makeup sponge, but it is bigger. I've never tried it before. This will be my first time. So yeah, let's just get to it. So what we're gonna do is do this half Wet n Wild, this half Sonia Kashuk. Right now, I'm going to color correct my mouth area with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Orange. And I'm just going to put this on, hey, calm down, all over my mouth area. Just a little bit under the eyes. We'll use the Wet n Wild makeup sponge on this side. This is the baby one, and we'll use one of the Kashuks on the other half. I've been experimenting with these orange concealers. I don't know how I like it yet, so I've just been going with the flow with it. I don't know if I put too much or what. How much am I supposed to put on? That's another video that I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get my hands on the Dragon Beauty color corrector. I want to try it. I'm here to try things so y'all can know what to expect, you know? So this side has been corrected. Now we're going to do the other side with the Sonia Kashuk. We are color corrected. Now I'm going to get my infallible Fresh Wear foundation from L'Oreal. It's my favorite, and I'm going to apply her all over my face. I love this foundation because it's has the right amount of coverage, but the right amount of dewiness, you know what I'm saying? That's what I look for in a foundation because I have dry skin. I'm just gonna dot everywhere. Okay. So this side, makeup sponge by Wet n Wild, which is my top, it's my fave. This sponge has made the standards very high for an affordable sponge. Okay, now we're going in with the Sonia Kashuk. First impressions. She's good. She is really big, so getting under the eye is a little challenging. But so far, no problems. Dang. I don't know, y'all. This was a really good match. Okay, I'm gonna do one more layer of foundation. Makeup sponge. So far, they're holding up against each other. I guess we can compare the finishes of application. So thoughts on the Sonia. She has like a dewy finish, which I actually like, versus the makeup sponge from Wet n Wild. I see a more dewy finish on this side, but so far they look good. Now we're going to compare contour. This is my Fenty Matchstick in the shade Truffle. We're gonna go ham, because this is the content that we want. This is how I'll determine which one I like better. Because of the flexibility that it has, it hugs your cheek, and it's the perfect tool to contour with cream contours. So I really like this sponge. I haven't cream contoured in forever because far, my skin looking nice. All right, so now we're gonna do the nose contour. Impressed? Yeah, you should be. All right, so now this sponge, the Sonia Kashuk. I hope she holds up, because so far that Wet n Wild really killed it for contour. They were tied for foundation, but right now, okay, forehead is easier than the cheek contour. All right, the nose part is gonna be where it's gonna be harder, so I'm going to try to manipulate the sponge, which is what I look for in a sponge. Can I squish it? So far I can. As far as contour, definitely Wet n Wild won that one, because I'm obsessed with this cheek contour versus this one, because I feel like my cheek lines look better over here. So it lost its definition. I'm using my Wet n Wild sponge on this side because I love how it gives me that deep bone structure look. And if I had to use this sponge on this side, who won? So contour definitely goes to Wet n Wild. So now it is concealer time. So I'm just gonna go heavy with the concealer because, like I said, we want to see who comes to play, you know, who really wants it. So we're gonna go in with this concealer. So for that part, I used the flat side. The nose is gonna be hard, so I'm just gonna do the nose with the Wet n Wild sponge, and we'll do this part with Sonia. All right, Sonia's turn. Okay. So I'm using the butts of the sponges to kind of blend out so it's not such a harsh line. Okay. Concealer, I want to say it's 50-50, but I feel like the Wet n Wild sponge was a lot more easier to use because it has so many features to it, like the straight edge and the very pointy spot. It's just, whereas like this doesn't really have a pointy edge, it's just kind of rounded at the tip, and it doesn't have a straight edge, but the butt of the sponge is actually really good. So next we're going to bake. Today's bake, you know it, we always use the Queen Cosmetics luxury powder in the shade Vanilla. So you would think I would use the flat side, but I like to use the curvier side of this sponge. Here we go. I'm not gonna do a lot. Just underneath the eyes. Okay, so far okay, so I feel like I like the way that this sponge baked. So as you saw, I had to dip back into the powder a second time for this side, but that's not really a problem because it kind of blended real nicely. Like it just looked, if you look closely, it looks a little bit more even on this side, whereas like this side is not as even as this one. So I think Sonia won that one for sure. I don't like to bake that long. I'm going to go ahead and finish off my face, and I'll be right back and we will discuss the results. So this is the finished look. I am obsessed with how my face looks. Of course, this is after I added everything. I have blush on, I have bronzer on, and I am kind of living for how my face looks right now. Like, you see this? This is what Wet n Wild and Sonia Kashuk did to me, and I am shook. So let me give you an up close view. So, final thoughts on the battle between sponges. I am going to say, I think it's obvious which one won for me. It's my all-time favorite Wet n Wild sponge. It's just, she's just versatile. And that's what I look for in a relationship, is versatility. Like, what do you bring to the table? And she brought features. She has a flat edge. She's squishy. She's comparable to the Beauty Blender. She's cheap. She's $4. $4! And she just does great all around. My thoughts on the Sonia Kashuk sponge, I don't hate her. Like, she is a great runner-up. She is really big. I wish she was a little bit smaller, but other than that, if you have a big face, she might be perfect for you. Sonia, she gave me blendability. She blended my contour line a little bit too well. She kind of disappeared, but you know, Wet n Wild came to save the day. Price point, I think she's originally $8. I'll have to look it up, but you could get her at Target. Yeah, I think all in all, we all know who the baddest is, and that's Wet n Wild makeup sponge. Point blank. Period. Alright, if you guys haven't gotten yourself the Wet n Wild makeup sponge, how are you blending? How are you beating that face? Like, TLC, man. Anyways, go copy one. If you guys love this video, I think I'm going to start doing a versus comparison series. Let me know which fighters you want me to compete against each other. I am open for suggestions. Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, girl. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media platforms. I'm at Coraima_TXO on Twitter, and on Instagram I am CORAIMAPILOTXO. Let everybody know who your favorite fly girl is. Peace.